Hello everyone! Today we are going to talk about something really useful, and it's called GKE backups. As you already know, GKE is a scalable and fully automated service for running containers application and workloads with and without a state. But what happens if your data gets corrupted or you want to restore a snapshot of a cluster, imagine in another cluster, or a backup in another clusters. That's where GKE backups come in. What we can do? The first thing that you need to do is you need to activate GKE backups into GKE cluster. And after that, what you need to do is go to backup for GKE. When we are there, you will see that there are main two options. One is create a backup plan, and the second one is create a restore plan. With the first one, as you can imagine, we're going to create a backup, or we are going to schedule daily, hourly, or whatever kind of backups. And even we are going to check what kind of backup do we want to do. And with the second option, as you can imagine, we are going to create a plan to later on restore this backup. We go to click on create a backup plan. And as you can see, we have here the different options. First is what cluster we are going to use to execute the backup, what is the backup name that we want to give, and in what region we want to do our backup. In our case, it's going to be US Central 1. Now when we go to the second option, as you can see, we can do a backup on entirely cluster. Everything. Imagine that someone remove our cluster. This is our case. And the second option, for example, is select a namespace inside this backup. And we need to understand, if we want to do a backup for a namespace, when we want to restore, this namespace could not be in the cluster. So we are going to restore everything inside this namespace. So it needs to be something empty. The same thing with the cluster. If we have a backup for a cluster, we need to have an empty cluster because we are going to delete everything. There is one more option called persistent volume data, will allow to save all the persistent data. And this is super interesting because we are going to save all the CDR plus all the data that contain. If we go to the next one, you can select backup schedule. It's a cron. And in the last one, we create our backup plan. When our backup plan is done, what we are going to do in our console is simple. We have a cluster where we have now running two pods, my pod and my pod 2. We are going to remove those two pods, as you can see in the screen, with kubectl, delete pod, my pod, and the same one, if I know how to write that, with kubectl, delete my pod 2. When this is done, remember that we need to delete the namespace. So we are going to do the same. kubectl, delete namespace, in this case, nkdev. Now we are going to create a restore plan. To do that, as before, we click on restore plan. We give a name to our restore plan. We select our backup plan that we want to restore. This is important. We click on restore backup, and then we choose a target. And this is for me the most interesting part because I can choose a different cluster where I want to restore a plan that I created in a previous cluster. So we choose in this case, for example, nkdev is the same one in our case. But okay, only to show you how is that working. And we have now the different options. We can choose with all this backup that we did. We only want to restore a selected namespace and many other options. When this is done, we go to the next option where we have all the cluster scope resources that we're going to leave how it is. And in the last option, we create the plan. Now, when the plan is created, if we go to backups, we will see that there is an option that says set up a restore. When we click on set up a restore, we choose a restore plan, the one that we created previously. After that, we choose the name of the restore and we restore. And now, after a while, if we go back to our console, if we execute kubectl get pods -n nkdev, what do we have here? We have our pods. The good thing with GKE backups is that it's going to capture both the cluster state, which are the description of Kubernetes resources, but as well the volume backups of the corresponding PVC. And for me, this is the most important thing. But there are some things that we need to know. There are something that GKE backup doesn't save. For example, it's not going to save the node configuration. It's not going to save the node pools of our GKE cluster or enable features that we have in our cluster. And it also doesn't save the actual container image itself, or the configuration information, or the state of the services external to the cluster. For example, the load balancers. This is important to understand. But for me, the main question is, why do I need to have a GKE backup? I can give you 3 reasons. First, disaster recovery. You don't know what could happen in your cluster. Second, data protection, because it's not only going to save everything that is going to be in your GitHub, in case that, for example, you're using Helm, it's even going to back up everything that is in your disks. And the third, the compliancy. GKE Backup can help you to follow the industry regulation. I hope that you enjoy. I hope that you want to make a backup right now, and see you next week.
Do you think your project infrastructure is well set and maintained? We know for sure there is always room for improvement. If you are uncertain where to begin, let's first do an audit of what you already have. We will review your setup from every angle: performance, cost, security, high availability, automation, and provide you with a detailed roadmap of which direction your infrastructure should go, generate concrete tasks for you to implement, or even take on your infra entirely, if you let us, of course.